you even think about blinking, you'll be dead.
Jesus Christ.
It's all very good, isn't it?
Well, that's, I mean, I would hate to have let dust in my eyes and then a weeping angel shows up and I'm like, oh, fuck! Shit!
For fuck's sake!
Can we just...
Someone's just fucking shot a lot of pepper into my eyes.
Give me a minute.
Sake.
Let me put water under my eyes before you transport me to another time and space. But yeah, we're talking about Doctor Who season 3, episode 11. If you can't hear me say blink, it's because I blinked and I forgot that we weren't filming this. That was my cute way.
Very, very good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was written by Stephen Moffat, and it was directed by Hetty MacDonald, and is starring David Tennant, Freema Agyeman, Carey Mulligan, Lucy Gaskell, and Finlay Robertson.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, and I nearly fell as if I wasn't Strictly there, but I managed to pull it together and get that name read. But do you have an opening statement, Lewis?
I do have an opening statement. I like this episode very much.
Yeah.
It's good. I don't know quite what else to say. It's a great example of the fact that Doctor Who is at its best when it's a bit shit. Because I've been saying this literally since we first started doing this podcast, which is that Doctor Who is at its best when it is sort of massively constrained.
Yeah.
If you give the Doctor Who production team an unlimited budget to hire whoever, do whatever, it'll be good. But if you give them constraints to work within and everything's a bit of a struggle, then it becomes a bit better.
Yeah.
I don't know quite how to describe it, but it's I think it's for the same reason that in Universe, like David Tennant's TARDIS, it looks filthy.
Yeah.
And I think it's for the same reason that's kind of nice in a funny way. It's the same reason that Wallace and Gromit's car is always rusty.
Yes.
Because it's something about the struggle that is like just makes it good. But this is an episode where you're like, it's a lady running around a grimy old house for however long.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the episode. And it's really good, isn't it?
It definitely is. I completely agree with what you're saying. Dougie just said the Doctor Who movie had a big budget and it wasn't great. You're absolutely
with
right.
Peter Cushing. I've never seen it.
Yeah, have you not?
No, is it terrible?
I mean, it's worth watching for his 1996.
1996
Oh!
one with
Paul McGann.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a shit film. That is like, jeez. The Master is this weird American guy called Bruce.
Okay.
And he's a venomous...
Hey, I'm Bruce Master.
The voice of the Daleks in it is shocking. They're in it for like 2 seconds, and it's like someone's put on a blender and forgot to switch it off. It's that bad. But yeah,
So like the audio recording quality for our podcast.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
In its early days.
Speaking of, let me just turn on my blender and my whistle and my coffee machine. I'll just turn them all on all at once.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I mean, but some of the best episodes of the show are very low maintenance and very low budget, like Midnight, for example.
That was exactly what I was about to
Yeah.
suggest. Yeah.
That's probably one of my favourite episodes.
Yeah, because it's really bloody good. With what's his face from Merlin, Colin Morgan.
Something like that. Jeffro, his name is in the episode. I know his character name, but not his real name.
I think he was also in The Crown. I think.
Yeah, he played a
was,
journalist.
Yeah, I can't remember what he was journalisting about, but I remember he was in a hotel and he was like, "Oh, give me the front page and give me 600 words," and then he starts scribbling down on a piece of paper. I was like,
Well, it's not exactly true, Lewis. What it was
was it not?
no, he was meant to interview Princess Anne, and instead she decided, no, let's interview Philip's mother, who had an extraordinary life, and she was a nun, and he was like, very cynical of the monarchy, and then somehow interviewing this person, he was like, wow, maybe they're not that bad. Doesn't really negate the actions of the other people in the institution, but yeah, I mean, but anyway,
Goes to show you the power of Prince Philip's mum.
yeah, good egg. What a good egg.
I mean,
I don't know that
honestly
much
don't know.
about her. She could be fucking horrible.
Well, that's precisely what I was about to say, because some of Prince Philip's family members were Nazis, so she might have been one.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, his favourite sister was a Nazi.
Yeah, that was a bit.
It's a bit yikesy.
It's extremely yikesy,
Ooh.
dangerously yikesy.
But do you have any creepy room questions before we get into an anti-monarchical tirade?
Yes. Do cameras work on the Weeping Angels?
What?
Would cameras work on the Weeping Angels? That thing about how they can't be observed, but then it's like, well, what does it mean to be observed? Like, are you aware of this
Yeah.
concept of the mortifying ordeal of being known?
No.
The idea that, like, apparently it's a thing that, like, sort of professionals that will become famous at something, sort of say YouTubers or Instagram influencers or whatever,
Yeah.
there's a fighting chance you'll wake up one day and all of a sudden, overnight, 50,000 people have seen your face randomly on the internet.
Oh.
And that's a sort of a terrifying thing to think of, like, oh my god, there are 50,000 people out there that know me and I don't know them. And that's sort of creepy, and it's the mortifying ordeal of being known. So if the Weeping Angels had sort of notoriety and everybody was like suspicious of every gargoyle and statue that they walked past, would the Weeping Angels technically be observed in a very strange way?
Well, David Tennant says that it's a fact of their biology. So I'm assuming, like he said, no choice. It's a fact of their biology in the side of any living thing. So he said living thing. So I'm assuming that.
Oh, okay.
But there's a weird sort of scene in another Weeping Angel story where Stephen Moffat is drunk on his own cleverness and
Yes,
is like, you can see him through the TV and it's a recording, but any image of an angel is somehow an angel.
The way you said, "Oh, he's drunk on his own thing," I was like, "Any image of
Is
an
that-
angel
any-
becomes itself an angel."
Listen. I've got a fucking belter, right? Wait till you listen, right? Not only the angels bad, right? But see any fucking photographs of them, they'll come out and they'll fucking try and kill you, pal. Right? Put that in your fucking script. There you go.
Yeah.
Have that one for free, eh? Courtesy
I always thought.
courtesy of Stevie.
I always thought that if that was going to be used, like, don't get me wrong, I got it was, oh, the angel's coming out the telly and it's bloody scary. I get that, but wouldn't it be more terrifying to have the angel clawing its way out of a book? I feel like that's innately more scary.
Maybe.
Because things already come out of screens. I mean, they don't. But you put on 3D glasses and you're like, whoa, that bloody big old spear from that movie is going to come and poke me in the face. So
Yeah.
could it be... Would it not be scarier to have a book leap off the counter and something starts clawing its way out of it and ripping it apart? And I think that might be more scary. I don't know.
Probably need a bigger budget for that, though.
True.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I don't know.
No, neither do I. And do you know why you don't know? It's because Stephen Moffat had this one good idea and he's been harping on it for a long, long time.
Yeah. Do you know what, Lewis? Lewis, we're gonna have to break formula a wee bit, okay? Because there is no denying that this episode is fantastic, okay? So we've hated on Stephen Moffat for as long as we've both done this podcast, and I think it's time that we give him his due, okay? We've been hard on you, Steve, but we're here, and we're going to say all the good things about this episode. Carrie Mulligan, amazing performance as Sally Sparrow. You really sort of believe that she's inquisitive, but also human as well.
Yeah.
And that's it's interesting because our partner, who becomes our partner, has lost his sister, and he's more interested in like the shorthand of like the conversation that she's having with David Tennant. So it's interesting how like Doctor Who can make people forget the very sort of human things that define us. That's why characters like Rose become sort of desensitized and less interested in the sort of implications of leaving and then coming back a year later and your boyfriend is accused of killing you. So I think that's really interesting and it feels believable. It doesn't feel like forced. The sort of audio recordings of David Tennant and not just audio, visual as well, that's genius. That's the fact that we hear snippets of the conversation like all throughout the episode, and we're like, what the hell is he talking about? And it all sort of comes together in this weird sort of, yep, no, I know that bit, yep, yeah, and now you're gonna say this, and it's like it's a good payoff to being like so confused throughout the entire episode, and it keeps you sort of guessing, which is excellent.
Yeah. It is always nice to have lots of things all sort of fall into place, and you're like, oh, so
Yeah.
like it's what a heist movie is supposed to be. Oh, so that's how they did it. Do you know what I mean? It's yeah, I like that a lot. And I do enjoy the idea of I remember at the time DVDs were like, I mean, DVDs weren't a new thing at the time. That's a ridiculous thing to say, but I suppose in a way they sort of were. But the point I'm slowly trying to make my way around to is the fact that it's sort of this edge part of culture that people aren't really very aware of, and he's sort of dragging it into the limelight and making you stare at it. That's quite a nice thing.
Yeah.
Which is enjoyable, I have to say. It's just enjoyable.
Dougie said Easter eggs were a big thing then. They were. They were very big. I don't remember ever having DVDs and seeing Easter eggs and stuff on them, but I know that they were like a thing that super fans would look for in certain things, and weird sort of clips that were sort of transposed onto other DVDs were common, and would there was I think there was a case in the US where it was like a sort of children's nursery or something like that, and they'd put on this DVD and like porn was like intercut with it. So it was, I think it was like a pretty big pandemic back then of people just putting random shit onto already, created VHS and DVDs, which was really weird.
Which I suppose it's kind of, it is slightly weird, but I guess it's kind of nice in the same way. People will always sort of take apart what you give them and make something new with it. I think that's the very nature of people. It's the nature of creativity. So
yeah.
Even if it's not quite Tyler Durden splicing pictures of penises into films in Fight Club, then it'll be something equally as stupid and ridiculous of putting, like, oh, there's an Easter egg in this, and it's literally just an Easter egg in the background. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the kind of things that you sort of see, which I quite like.
Definitely.
A tiny bit of trivia that I've been dying to talk about is the software that they use to make the Weeping Angel actresses actually stay physically still. Is called Blink. The software is called Blink, and it's supposed to be used to take out blinking in your actors, so their eyes just appear to be open. And so that's what they've used to do that, which I quite like.
Wow, I had no idea that they were actors. Like I thought that they were like statues, But then again,
God, imagine if they had like a statue budget.
Yeah,
right,
Jesus. Now that I'm thinking about it,
let's commission 20 granite statues of angels.
Yeah, that is a lot. That is a lot of money. I think the concept of the Weeping Angel is just genius.
God, yeah.
By itself, like just again, horror being the things that we take for granted, that we don't see any sort of like just it's. I cannot overstate how incredibly clever it is, and how Stephen Moffat must have just been sitting one day and just saw a statue and was like, oh, that could be an interesting idea for a story.
That you're completely right. It's yet another example of the expectation subversion, which is everywhere when you start looking for it.
Yeah.
Of like, it's what a joke is, really. Why did that guy fall out of the tree? He got a fridge thrown at him. That's expectation subversion, because it's, oh, the branch slipped, or oh, it was raining, or whatever. No, it was a fridge, and that's the subversion. But yeah, it's the expectation of, oh no, statues are just carved bits of limestone, or well, not limestone because that'd rot away, but you know what I mean, carved bits of rock. And then, oh no, actually, they're all a bit alive.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that you happen to be looking at them is the only thing that keeps them there. Because it's not every statue, but it's any statue.
Yeah.
And that's the brilliance of it. Because then suddenly you're there thinking, oh God, but earlier I was by that war memorial, and there was that statue of a soldier. And do you know what I mean? You're then thinking back through your day, and it creeps into your mind.
Yeah.
It's really good.
You know, there is one thing that makes this episode a downer, right? Because
Okay.
David Tennant alludes to the fact that these things can never be seen. Their true form can never be sort of seen by anyone, let alone themselves. And then in the next sort of Weeping Angel episode, there's this scene where Amy has to close her eyes and walk to this place without getting caught by the angels, and she has to pretend that she can see, right?
Which is the most absurd thing in the world.
Yeah, because I don't understand.
She's not observing them. They should be able. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god! The rabbit hole that I have just fucking went down. So it's biological that if they are looked upon, they will turn to stone. No choice. They don't have any say in that whatsoever. They have to remain absolutely still. Okay, so Amy's got her eyes closed, so they should be free to do whatever they want and just nab her and snap her neck like they did in the newer episodes. Why they did that, I don't. Oh yeah, it was they can sort of take your physical vortex or something and then use it as a voice. I had no idea what the fuck was going on there. But the angels then realised, oh wait, Davey, she's got her fucking eyes closed, man. And then you don't see. It's alluded to that they have this otherworldly form that cannot be seen by anyone, and that makes
terrifying.
Yeah, that makes them more scary. But no, it's not that. They are just statues, and they turn around and they're like, oh, like that, and that's just what they are. So it completely ruins the entire concept of you have no idea what they look like. They don't know what they look like. No one will ever know what these horrible creatures look like. You just have to keep looking at them, and you will never get a glimpse of what they truly are. That's horrifying. That's a horrifying, brilliant sci-fi concept, only to be ruined.
Then it starts begging the question as well. Well, why did they pick the form of the angel then? Why is that? Because Weeping Angel as a concept, it's a really creepy image.
Yeah.
And it's used in graveyards, cemeteries, and all the rest of it because it's, oh my god, this person's died. It's making angels cry. That's it's so sad.
Yeah.
But then, well, why did they pick the form of the angel then? Did they pick it?
Yeah.
Or did it just so happen that they came to the planet and just happened across,
well,
a graveyard and like, oh, that looks nice, I'll do that.
I mean, the thing is, why do they hunt in packs then if they can't look at each other?
That's really good. Yeah,
It's just
think
should be
they'd
one.
not do that.
It should be sole predators on their own because they're like, oh, they're not weeping. They can't risk look at each other. Well, if they can't risk look at, why don't they just go and find someone else? They could all separate and it's like, right, I'll see you after. I'll meet you at the lunch club and find their own their own food.
Meet you at the lunch club and then they're looking at each other and going, oh shit.
Yeah.
We fucked it, guys. Oh no.
I like, it would have been good if it was just one, and then the Doctor could maybe empathise a bit more about this creature being lonely and only sort of stealing human time streams for food and stuff like that. Maybe but I suppose you don't have enough time in a 45-minute episode. But you would have done if there was only one of them.
Hang on, I'm just looking at a picture now of the final four angels all stood around the TARDIS. One of them is being unobserved. They're stood in a square, obviously.
Yeah.
And the three, so there's no way for me to indicate this in an audio format, but three of them are looking at one another.
Let me get it up.
Okay, because two of them are looking at each other, and then one of them is looking at one of the two, and then the final angel, nobody's looking at her, but she's looking at the angel directly across from her. So, could she not just, I say she, the otherworldly angel figures, but could they just vanish off and go and nab Sally Sparrow?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, surely the lights go out and then they can leave.
Yes, but then, again, if they've got some otherworldly intelligence and an otherworldly ability to, nobody knows what their body looks like or whatever, they might navigate by echolocation or something.
Yeah.
What's to say they observe by seeing with eyes like we do?
Why can't they turn off the lights like they did 2 minutes ago? But it's so dumb. It is. Oh fuck! Why? Why did we
Have
have
you
to
found
do?
the picture?
Why did we have to do this? We do this every fucking time. Oh, this is the best. This is the best episode in the entire show. Yeah, the Doctor's a serial killer. Okay. Yeah. So two of them are looking at each other, and one is looking away, and the other one. Well, I mean, one's looking. They're all. Two are only looking at each other, and the other two are looking in that direction. So I guess they are trapped for that moment. But
yeah, but do you see my point? How I presume you're looking at the same picture of me. Of the four, nobody is looking at one of them, unless I suppose maybe she's in the periphery or something.
yeah, I imagine that's what they would say. Oh, they're in the periphery. You know, field of vision is quite big, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, that said, they are fucking terrifying creatures.
Oh yeah.
Both in terms of what they can do, but also in terms of the aesthetic. There's something incredibly terrifying about something that's like, it's just a slight perversion of something you know.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up quite near a church that had a weeping angel, literally, as in there was like it was a big grave, and on top of the grave was stood an angel with hands over her face, crying. And so then I was like, well, that's fucking terrifying. So I feel like I know what a weeping angel is, and I know the pictures of them in the garden and stuff, how they are literally weeping angels. I know what that is. And then I see a picture of them with the great big fangs, and they're going, ah, and they've got the big nails and claws, and they look a bit battered. And do you know what I mean? It's scary. It's really yet another expectation subversion, brilliant thing.
No, definitely. I mean, their sort of outwardly appearance as angels would only work on Earth, really. Like
True.
Well, I mean, maybe not. I'm sure there are other cultures that have angels, but they would all be like aliens, you know.
That's really good. Didn't the Aplans have two heads? Yeah, that's a really good point as well. Why wouldn't the angels? Because presuming they picked the form, then it could be like the Transformers, for want of a better example. Like they sort of stumble across something they like and go, oh yeah, I like that, and then they just pick that and do it. Which sort of makes sense, I guess. If they came to Earth and they were like, oh, okay, well, there's loads of statues. There's something that doesn't move very often. Or if they went to some alien planet and they were like, oh, they call this the Blim Blam, and it is purple and it's 7 feet tall. I'm going to be one of them because they never move. Do you know what I mean? Would they do that if they went to a different planet?
Yeah. I mean, they could do. But, like...
Or if they've got to go to, like, a fancy dress shop.
So,
steal the shop's supply of Blim Blam outfits to try and resemble one.
But that would imply that then if they can change their outwardly appearance, then why can't they then, like, sort of control when they're seen and when they're not? I think it's, like, the point is they have no choice and they are, you know, angels forever. But not every statue is an angel. Like, we see in the Aplan sort of thing, there are statues that don't look like angels, they just look like statues. So,
and
do they all look like angels? Or is it dependent?
And there was a little sort of cherub, wasn't there?
Yeah, those baby ones as well.
Yeah.
And
the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, made of copper.
That's a really good point, yeah.
That was so stupid.
They literally do. I think the only reason they did that was because oxidized copper obviously is green, and it just so happens that green is that sort of murky green is a color that you might see in a rock formation, as like malachite or something, which I think is actually copper ore now that I think of it. But anyway, so but if it was still bright copper like it was the time it was introduced to the US, the time the French gave it to the US, then surely they wouldn't have thought to do that. You'd be like, oh no, well, clearly it's copper. Or are we just supposed to believe that this weeping angel can become copper? Or that this weeping angel just so happens to be able to make itself appear to be copper?
I mean, the idea that no one would be looking at the Statue of Liberty as it marches across the fucking ocean to this random hotel is fucking
there's
bullshit.
These enormous like waves crashing up against houses and apartment buildings.
Jesus.
And oh, fuck!
Oh, God.
Dougie's just made a good point. There could be shapeshifters, which is a very good point, of course. They could be shapeshifters.
They could be.
But then I suppose if they can move quicker than... what what is it? He said impossibly fast, quicker than anything. Then I don't know what tachyon. Well, clearly yes, Dougie's right. It is tachyons. They might be made from tachyons, which I think from Watchmen are particles that travel backwards through what we perceive to be time.
Yeah,
which is a brilliant line because it means fucking nothing.
Sci-fi mumbo jumbo.
No, it's like all those lines they gave to LeVar Burton on TNG, where there's just he seems to be the only one in the cast that can convincingly perform this sci-fi nonsense.
Yeah,
so they just give him a string of random technobabble. Yeah, Dougie's just said. Give him a string of random words and he comes out with them. So now that we've ruined most people's favourite episode of Doctor Who, Danny, have you got any final CRQs or anything like that?
No.
I just wanted to say the iconography of the writing under the wallpaper, that's beautiful.
Yes.
It's very, very pretty with the white paint, the green paint.
Very.
And the sort of black etchings on the wall. It's very pretty. And the wallpaper's nice as well, so I suppose that's good.
Yeah. The only psychopaths in the universe to kill you nicely. Do they really kill you?
No, not really. They just kind of teleport you a bit. They time travel you.
I mean...
Which actually, now that I think about it, that's a really good point. Because if they feed off your potential future energy, you're still going to have a potential future. When, what's her name? The lady that disappeared to the past in this episode with the dark hair.
Yeah.
I've forgotten her pissing name. What is it?
Kathy Nightingale.
Yes, Kathy Nightingale. Kathy Nightingale will still have a future in the past, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
She'll still live to be 80 years old and have kids and a husband, like she does in the episode. There's that letter.
Yeah.
So could a weeping angel from ancient Britain, well, not ancient, however long ago Britain, could they not tap her and send her further back and further back and further back till she's present for the Big Bang?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't... Do the angels decide how far back to send someone?
Yeah, and I mean, so... Do you know what I don't understand as well? Because time travel is like a big part of this universe, if you have a time machine, does that mean that the angels can still feast on your potential? Like...
I suppose so, yeah.
Well, how? Because if you go back to the time that they took you, then they wouldn't have fed on it, would they have?
Yeah, that's a good point. Although I suppose the idea is that I think you two have put in more thought than the writers. I think so, Dougie. Yeah. I guess what David Tennant or whoever, or I suppose Stephen Moffat was trying to get across is that they're feeding off your remaining life force, as it were. Like, say you live to 80, they're feeding off the remaining however many years that you might have. But, like, Kathy Nightingale does still get those years. So...
Yeah, but it would work if time was like you could only send people back. But the Doctor says it himself in this episode that time is like, from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint. So why doesn't he just say, not in order and objective? Like, there's so much technobabble. It's like a big ball of wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. So that implies that even if they send you back, you're not, like, back anywhere. You're just in another
elsewhere.
point. Like, there's no...
It's like if somebody teleported you to, like, Russia. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, really. I mean, it's like time would become space in that sense because it's not sort of a causal effect relationship. It's more just a different bit of the big bubble that you're in, I guess.
That's a very good point.
Which makes no fucking sense. Whatsoever, and I don't know why that's there, to be honest.
Neither do I.
Maybe it's to confuse us so much that we can't ever work it out and can't hold this bastard to account.
Perhaps it is. I'm sorry. I've gone onto the IMDb page for this episode, and I'm looking at the cast list. Ellen Thomas as Weeping Angel is the only credited Weeping Angel here.
Oh.
Turns out she has done loads of stuff as makeup department. She's doing stuff as makeup department. The A-List, a TV series, she's doing that now, apparently. Her only acting credits are Doctor Who. She did this one, obviously. She was in the Utopia episode.
That's next.
Futurekind. Yeah, she was in The Girl in the Fireplace. She played Clockwork Woman 1.
Oh.
And Rose 2005. She played an Auton, uncredited.
God damn.
Non-union extra, maybe. Maybe she might be a non-union extra.
Maybe. But
love a bit of IMDb. I love that it's this somebody is out there looking through lists and lists that I can't be bothered to find.
Yeah.
And making this information available to me completely at random.
I hope they're getting paid for it.
I hope they're getting paid for it as well.
Yeah. Whoever you are out there, you are the real hero.
IMDb messed up my IMDb page once.
Never mind, you're a bastard.
Because I'm Lewis Brindley, obviously, and there's another Lewis Brindley, the small YouTube channel, you might know about it, the Ogscast.
Who?
He's but yeah, me and the other Lewis Brindley, we shared an IMDb page for a bit, and we kept getting in contact with loads of different people to be like, can you fix this, please? And now it has worked. I think I'm Lewis Brindley 1 and he's Lewis Brindley 2.
Yeah. Know your fucking place, Yog boy.
Oh no, I'm Lewis.
No!
No!
You've been betrayed.
I have been betrayed.
Oh, god damn. Well, it's been a roller coaster of an episode. We've destroyed our favourite television show yet again, and God, we're going to do this every fucking episode from now on, aren't we? We're going to
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I love this episode. But what about that thing? Oh yeah, it's really stupid now. Sorry guys. You really are. Yeah.
So let's wrap it up. Have you got a closing statement, Chuck?
Not really.
Neither do I, really.
Yeah.
Well, make one up on the spot. I dare you.
Okay. I will not say do not weep, for not all tears are an evil.
What?
I don't fuck it. It's from Lord of the Rings. There you go.
Oh, okay.
And I saw the word weep, and I was like, whoa.
I like this episode. Lots of pretty things happen. It's scary. But also, more importantly, if you enjoyed our rambling nonsense about Doctor Who and you have seen the recent Doctor Who trailer and you're very excited, you can check out our Sunday podcast. We'll be talking about the Doctor Who trailer and we'll be like, bloody hell, look at the Doctor Who trailer. Look at all these things that have happened in it. Isn't that weird? So won't that be exciting?
That is exactly how we're going to say it as well. Yeah, so you've got that to look forward to. But until then, Lewis, shall we do some horrible capitalist shilling?
Go on then.
Okay. We all have Linktrees. Lewis's Linktree is linktr.ee/Lewis_Brindley. Mine's is /O'Hiram, and the podcast is /Shouting Into the Void. There you will find our socials, our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube. Go find it, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll see you there. We also have a PayPal donate button, so anything you can spare, anything at all, would be greatly appreciated. And we also want to take the opportunity, as we do every week, to thank our wonderful, wonderful patrons. Chloe.
Thank you.
Darius.
Thank you.
Peter.
Thank you.
Aditya.
Thank you.
Natalie.
Thank you.
And Dougie.
Thank you, one and all. You really do make the show possible, and you are... We have a couple of patrons in the chat now. We have got Dougie, and for a brief moment there we had Teacher. So yes, just thank you very much for joining, both of you. If you want to get in on the action and cheekily join our Patreon, then you can go to patreon.com/shoutingintothevoid, and you can check out everything. Dougie's given us a thumbs up, so thumbs up back to him.
Yes, absolutely. We also have merch on Teespring and Redbubble. We sell tote bags, jumpers, mugs, socks, stickers, all sorts of stuff. Get yourself something nice, or the Weeping Angels will get you. Ooh.
The Weeping Angels that do famously go, ooh.
Ooh. They do that when you're not looking at them and you've got earmuffs on. But yeah, and last but certainly not least, we are partnered with an amazing company called Number 12 Crochet Avenue. And Lewis is going to say some wonderful things about them, all of which are true.
Indeed I am. Number 12 Crochet Avenue is a wonderful company run by my wonderful wife, in which they crochet, and they're very, very good at it. And if you want to keep up to date with all the things that they're doing and all the things that are going on in that world, you can go to Number 12 Crochet Avenue on Instagram, and you can check out everything that they're doing. So give it a cheeky check out.
Yes, cheeky checkout. And speaking of cheeky checkouts, we are now going to cheeky check the fuck out of here. We have How many episodes left? 3 of this season?
I don't know. I've closed the IMDb page.
Utopia, The Sound of Drums, and Last of the Time Lords, I believe we have left.
Ooh.
So that'll be fun.
It will.
Yeah, so tune in for them, and we will see you, hear you, smell you, ruin your favourite sci-fi concepts next time.
Yeah. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.